Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In tip 11, we looked at the steps for arranging a meetup. And in tip 12, we looked at actually hosting a meetup. In today's video, I'll share with you my last tip for meetups. What to do if you're invited to a meetup. If someone invites you to meet up with them, it's really exciting, but you may also feel a little nervous since you might be feeling unsure of what's going to happen or how you should behave. Don't worry. Here are my top tips to put your worries to rest and help you enjoy yourself at your meetup. Before the meetup, try to help the host by letting them know what days and times you can come so that they can plan your meetup. If the host sends you a follow-up message to remind you and finalize the meetup, try to reply as soon as possible to let them know whether you can still come or not. If your plans have changed and you can't make it to the meetup anymore, that's totally fine. Just try and let the host know as early as possible. This will give them time to adjust their arrangements, especially if they're booking an outside activity. It's better not to talk about your meetup with any of your friends who weren't invited, since they might get upset that they weren't invited. Arrange how you're going to get to the place of the meetup. Don't hesitate to contact the host and ask for the location of the meetup if they haven't already sent it to you. If you need to, you can ask your parents for help to get to the meetup. If the person who is organising the meetup, the host, asks for suggestions for what to do during the meetup, you can give suggestions of things you would like to do, but try not to force only doing your suggestions, because remember, the host and any other guests might want to do other things as well. If they decide to do an activity that you aren't really interested in, it's still a good idea to go to the meetup if you were invited, since this may help you to make and keep more friends. Okay, so what film do you guys want to watch this weekend at the cinema? Ooh, let's watch Jurassic World. Nah, the reviews say it's no good. Let's watch Top Gun Maverick. Ooh yeah, Top Gun. Okay, you guys win. Let's watch Top Gun. If your meetup is at the host's house, when you arrive there, it's a good idea not to walk through the door as soon as it's opened for you. Instead, try and wait for the host to invite you in. They might say something like, "Come in," and then you can walk inside. Again, if you're at the host's house, it's nice to stay in the room where your host has taken you to hang out. This is usually the host's bedroom or the living room. It's a good idea not to go into any other rooms unless the host takes you there themselves or asks you to go there. If you want to go to the toilet, you should ask the host where it is, and then they might either give you directions, such as, "Go up the stairs and it's the first door on your left." Or they might take you there themselves. If you're at the host's house and you see something interesting, it's better to ask the host's permission before you use it, play with it, or touch it. This is because the host might not like you touching things if they're personal or private items. If you're starting to get bored of the planned activity, why not suggest changing to a different activity rather than walking away or saying, "I'm bored," both of which would be rude. Even if the activity that they're doing isn't one that you're very interested in, try and hang in there instead of leaving early. Hey guys, I'm getting a little bored of Mario Kart now. Should we kick a football around in the park instead? Aw, we're just getting to the boss level. This is the really cool bit. Yeah, come on. Why can't we just keep playing Mario Kart? All right, let's keep going with Mario Kart. Because if the others are enjoying that activity and you're a part of that experience, the others will probably think you're really cool and want to invite you to hang out with them even more. Then, on your next meetup, you can do an activity that you find fun as well. In a group meetup, there may be some guests whom you don't know. Try and be polite to them. Introduce yourself, talk to them, and answer their questions if they ask you any. You can introduce yourself by saying your name and how you know the host. In a group meetup, try not to talk to the host all the time because they will want to chat to the other guests as well. I know you might want to talk to the host for the whole time, especially if you don't know any of the other guests. But try and talk to the other guests as well instead of just the host. You might even make new friends this way. When it's time for the meetup to end, the host will signal that the meetup is over. This might be something like an excuse that we talked about earlier, such as, "Oh, I have to go and do the laundry now. Anyway, look at the time, it's getting late." When this happens, you should start getting ready to leave, even if you were really enjoying the meetup and wanted it to go on for longer. If you're in a group, the other guests will start getting ready to leave as well at this point, and you should follow them. You might be feeling sad that the meetup is over, but don't worry, you can arrange another meetup again soon. Before you leave, you should let the host know how much you enjoyed the meetup and thank them for inviting you. Even if you didn't enjoy the meetup, you should still thank the host for inviting you and for arranging the meetup. After the meetup, you could send the host a message to thank them for inviting you and for organising the meetup. If you enjoyed the meetup, you could say this too. Sending a message after the meetup will show everyone that you're a kind and friendly person, and it might make them want to invite you to meetups in the future. Let's recap everything we've covered in today's video on what to do if you're invited to a meetup. Tell the host what days and times you can come to the meetup. Remember to reply to follow-up messages as soon as possible and tell the host whether you can come or not. Don't tell friends who weren't invited about the meetup. Arrange how you're going to get to the meetup and get back. If the host asks for suggestions, you can give some, but don't force them. And if everyone wants to do something else, you should go along with that. Wait to be invited in before you walk through the door. Stay in the room that your host has taken you to, unless you need the toilet, and then ask the host where that is. Ask the host's permission before touching any of their things. If you're bored with the activity, hang in there and suggest maybe changing it to something else. If you aren't enjoying the meetup, try and stick around until the end so that you can make more friends anyway. In a group meetup, try not to talk to the host all the time, but engage with some of the other guests, even if you don't know some of them. Once the host has signaled that the meetup is over, you should do what everyone else is doing and get ready to leave. Before you leave, thank the host for inviting you to the meetup. You could send another message after the meetup as well if you want. And if you did enjoy the meetup, remember to tell the host how much you enjoyed it. Well, that's it for my tips on arranging meetups, hosting meetups, and what to do if you're invited to a meetup. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or comments on anything I've said, drop me a message below and I'll reply as soon as possible. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.